Welcome back to the Chattable podcast, where we learn real English in real life, enrich vocabulary, and feel proud. Today, we have a really interesting episode planned for you. Our mission is to quickly unpack two powerful English phrasal verbs that perfectly capture the feeling of modern stress and emotional weight.
Yeah, exactly. We are going to guide you through the vivid physical metaphors behind these phrases, look at some real-world examples of how they are used, and cover the strict rules for when not to use them.
Right, because using them correctly makes a huge difference. Let's just jump right in. I was reading through some recent tech industry reports on burnout, and there was a sentence that perfectly captured the first phrase we are looking at today.
Okay, let's hear it.
It went like this. In this new era of artificial intelligence, long working hours isn't the issue for most tech workers, but the mounting anxiety about massive layoffs due to AI-powered productivity gains is really wearing them down.
Wearing them down. That is an incredibly precise phrase there. Yeah, because from a psychological standpoint, what those tech workers are experiencing, it isn't an acute trauma. I mean, it isn't a sudden disaster.
Right. It's not like the building is on fire.
Exactly. It's this ambient, ever-present hum of uncertainty. Every time they open a new AI tool that writes code faster than they can.
Right, like generates a full report in 3 seconds.
Right. It creates a tiny microstress.
So it's basically the drip, drip, drip of stress.
Totally. And if you think about the physical metaphor behind wearing down, it's essentially erosion. Like the rubber soles of your favorite sneakers constantly rubbing against the concrete.
Oh, that's a great visual. I always picture like taking a piece of sandpaper to a block of wood.
Yeah, that works perfectly too.
Because the wood doesn't just snap in half instantly. It painfully loses its layers bit by bit until the structural integrity is just gone.
Exactly. Or consider a rough river slowly washing over a sharp rock. The water isn't hitting the rock with a hammer.
No, of course not.
But over years, that constant friction washes over the surface until it becomes thin, flat, and weakened. Metaphorically, that is what constant stress or anxiety does to someone's mental or physical energy over time.
So the key element here has to be time, right? You can't be worn down in 5 minutes.
Right, you hit the nail on the head.
No.
The phrase strictly requires time, repetition, and slow friction.
Slow friction, okay.
Yeah. It is never used for a sudden shock. Like if a company goes bankrupt overnight and everyone loses their jobs, they weren't worn down by the bankruptcy, they were just blindsided.
Right, because there was no time for erosion.
Exactly. We use it for things like chronic workplace stress or endless negotiations or, a child persistently begging for a toy.
Oh, like a toddler asking for a toy 50 times in a row.
Yes, until the parent's willpower simply evaporates.
It's the sheer attrition of it. And, the physical toll of that kind of attrition is fascinating, too. It's not just mental.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like, I was looking at the actor Hugh Jackman and the preparation he did to play Wolverine.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a perfect real-world example.
Right, because we see the final result on screen, and it looks like pure strength. But the actual process of getting there is a masterclass in this specific kind of physical erosion.
The regimen required for those roles is punishing. We are talking about months of grueling workouts and strict diets.
It sounds miserable.
It is. The body can handle the acute stress of a single workout, but over a long film shoot, that constant friction eventually begins to wear him down.
Yeah, the cumulative lack of sleep and physical trauma just grinds you away.
By the end of those long shoots, his physical exhaustion was profound. It is the river smoothing out the rock.
Wow. It makes you look at your own life and ask where the sandpaper is. Usually it's that external friction slowly grinding away our energy over time.
Yeah, it really is.
But that actually leads us to a really interesting transition. If wearing down is about external friction, what happens when we take that stress and trap it internally?
Well, that introduces our second phrase.
Exactly. Let me bring in our next target sentence. It goes like this. When he was a little boy, he was really shy and often bottled up his feelings in front of his family and friends. It proved to be harming his mental well-being, which is something he is still working to improve as an adult.
Bottled up. That is such powerful physical imagery.
It really paints a picture.
It does. Picture a literal glass bottle with a tight cork. Now imagine you pour a carbonated fizzy drink inside, seal it, and violently shake it.
Oh man, massive pressure building up.
Right, with nowhere for it to escape. You are basically risking an explosion.
And psychologically, this means pushing intense emotions deep down.
Exactly. The feelings don't just disappear because you ignore them. They just build incredible internal pressure.
Wait, I have a question to clarify this. Is this used for hiding anything? Like, if I hide my passport in a drawer so it doesn't get stolen, did I bottle up my passport?
No, definitely not. And I'm glad you asked that because it highlights the strict boundaries of the phrase.
Okay, so how strict are we talking?
Very. You never use it for hiding literal physical objects. A passport doesn't have internal pressure, you know.
Right, that makes sense.
And you also don't use it for positive, joyful emotions either.
Really? Never.
Almost never. It is almost exclusively reserved for mental health and internalizing negative emotional pressure.
So things like hiding grief.
Yes.
Yes.
Hiding grief, swallowing anger, or refusing to ask for help when you're really struggling.
The manifestation of that long-term pressure must be awful.
It is. You can see a very public example of this with Prince Harry.
Oh, wow, yeah.
If you look at his life after the tragic death of his mother, Princess Diana, he completely bottled up his sorrow and grief for years.
Because he was just a kid and the whole world was watching.
Exactly. The institution and public expectations acted as the tight cork on the bottle. He was forced to just push all that intense emotion deep down.
He wasn't allowed to let the pressure out.
Right. And he refused to talk publicly about it until he finally sought therapy in his late 20s. All that unexpressed pressure just mutated into severe anxiety.
It's such a stark contrast to our first phrase. Wearing down is all about the slow, grinding exhaustion from the outside.
Yeah, the external friction.
But bottling up is this dangerous, internalized emotional pressure.
Which is why understanding these vivid metaphors is so crucial. It doesn't just improve your English vocabulary.
No, it does way more than that.
It gives you sharper tools to articulate complex emotional states in your own life and in your workplace.
Well, to wrap up our journey through this episode, I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to ponder.
Yeah, take a hard look at the stress in your own life right now. Which force poses the bigger threat to your well-being?
Is it the external friction that slowly wears you down?
Or is it the internal pressure of the things you bottle up?